I'm going to keep this short and sweet. I know my hair is messy, and I know that I'm going to make another video soon. I'm making the secondary portion of the trombone, which is going to be as I said, I was going to make the slide, but I realized that I don't have the correct fitting, so I'm going to make the bell slightly longer. It's not going to be the bell itself, it's just going to be the part that goes down, that wraps back around into the slide. So, well, what I'm doing for that is I'm going to make a trapezoid with a lengthened bottom and a lengthened top, and I'm going to make a little casing for the pipe that will go back around into it. It should be fun. Yeah, I'm not exactly going to be recording most of this because I want to make it easier to edit down so I can get as much time to work on this as possible. So I'm gonna do a little funny YouTube transition, and as soon as I snap my fingers, it's going to change over to the finished product. So and just like that, look at I did it. It took like 30 minutes. It wasn't really that bad. You just take some steel, you just bend it over, you go good. So anyway, take that, you put it right over the top of there, and now you have a much bigger bell. And the good thing for that is I'm now going to make a singular other steel piece that goes back, and it's going to be in a rectangular shape it's just going to be the 4 walls that I can put a pipe into. And then I'll actually be able to start building the rest of this thing. And bing bada boom, it's a day later and the entire thing is finished. Now I'm going to actually go down and eat some breakfast very shortly. But what I ended up doing was I, as said, took a piece of steel, bent it into 4 different sides, and then I put it over the end. And the end I kind of bent into a more circular shape so I can put the pipe into it. And today I'm hoping I can finish the entire thing. Very ambitious, I know, but it should be a very fun time if I do. So now that I've eaten food, my plan is to actually start doing work on the end bit of this thing. Because after the bell's done, that's really the main huge bit to it, because all the other stuff is just sliding pipes over pipes, cutting them, and then just kind of sticking them together with the elbow joints, which is not going to be that hard. So my goal is, I have a little thing put onto the side of this pipe. I don't know if it's visible, but it's a little black line. That's where I'm going to cut it. It's going to slide into this, probably up to here, stick out maybe 5 or so inches, and then it's going to wrap back around, back down, around into the slide with the mouthpiece at the front. So that should probably be what I'm going to do the rest of the day. See, I was originally going to cut the pipes with my hacksaw, but then I was offered help with a reciprocating blade, which, if anyone remembers back, I failed to create one. But this was an actual reciprocating blade, and it cut through it in pretty much under a second. So it went very well, and I now have 3 pieces of pipe. One of them is going to be for the main slide that's going to go from the bottom all the way down, and then it's going to be the one that connects this to the end of the slide to go in front of the trombone. It's going to be gorgeous. I said there was 3 pieces of pipe. You have the one long one, one short one, and then one slightly long one that actually goes down into here. And I already fitted it in there, so I'm just going to wrap some more flex tape around there. And I know you're going to say, no, your whole channel is just a meme at this point. You're using flex tape? Why would you do that? Listen, I know I've said it before. Not even kidding you here, the flex tape, in general, just any type of it, is ridiculously good. I kid you not, this stuff holds together some of my projects now. Literally, I made a cardboard cutout for a friend the other day. Literally, the entire back's pretty much held together with flex tape. This thing right here, flex tape. Flex glue right here. I have flex glue and flex tape everywhere on my projects because it works well. Saying that, this is now taped on. That didn't really take that long, but it's wonderful because this thing actually does make sound. Now, it's not really trombone sound yet, but that's just because of the fact that, well, it's just a big horn. A very big horn. I mean, you do this, right? I mean, it makes noise, but it's not going to really sound like an actual instrument until I put the slide on, which is going to be what I'm going to work on next. But first, I'm going to take elbow joint, put it up there, connect this to that, take the other elbow joint, put it on that, and then I'm going to connect it up to this and build the rest of the slide out of it. See, one thing I realized right off the bat was, I already knew at the start that this was going to be bigger than my regular trombone, but this blows it out of the water. This is going to be massive, more so than anything I think I've ever seen in a trombone. Not even a bass trombone gets this big, I don't think. Maybe it does, I have no clue, but
it doesn't.
See, I'm gonna, this thing is pretty flimsy at the moment, but my problem is, this is what the slide is gonna be, right? It's gonna go down to there. Problem is, I don't have any connector pipe. I was gonna go out and buy another piece of pipe, but all my family's out right now. I have to resort to other methods. And one thing I remembered is back when I made the Barack Obama cutout, I kept all these sticks from a while back, figuring I could use them later. And now is the time. I'm going to use these to act as spacers. One is going to go here, one is going to go here, and then one is going to go between the slide in both places. And that will act as a form of support, which I'm going to then use zip ties and drill holes to affix to everything else. Should be gorgeous. I cannot express how excited I am, because this is going to be hilariously large. Like, so... like, ridiculously oversized, and I am so just excited, you have no clue. So I've made some progress after that last clip. I made the above portion of the slide, which I ended up cutting a piece of wood, which wasn't actually big enough, but I think it actually was good because I ended up using cardboard to put between the things, and I used zip ties to kind of hold it together, and then the pressure kind of just exerts upon the sides, and it makes it all nice and level. But the good thing about not having just wood on there is the cardboard has more grip on the actual surface of the pipe, aside from the wood. Because the wood, it would end up just like, rubber against rubber, because I put tape over the cardboard. It works better. I don't know, the two surfaces, they cling together better than just the wood and the actual pipe, so going well so far. I also took some more flex tape and wrapped it around the little edges of this pipe. It still turns a bit, but I mean, I'm gonna end up using a few more pieces of wood to kind of beam across there, so there's gonna be a bunch of pieces of wood up here, because this thing is tall, like extremely tall. This is like maybe 8 inches long. This is about 4, so, I mean, I had to do that because of the size of the bell, but goodness me, this is going to be massive. I mean, literally, this is going to be the front of the slide, this entire thing. This is going to be 5 feet tall at the shortest. At its highest, I think it's going to be somewhere around 8. I ended up cutting down my wood pieces so that I have one slightly shorter one there, and I'm going to have 2 taller ones in the back. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to put cardboard between the things and use a zip tie for each of them and affix them to the top. I think the one at the top of the bell might be a bit more difficult, but I'll figure it out. It shouldn't be that bad. This, honestly, is, like, just flat out massive. I can't really show how big it is just in context, but it's really big. That's my trombone there. That's this. You can kind of tell that it's a lot bigger. Oh yeah, one thing I also didn't mention was that the slide doesn't come off of this thing like a regular trombone. This is going to be one solid piece. Like, you'd think that I'd make it so that I could take it off, but this isn't exactly going to fit into my case, and that's already for that trombone. This is just going to be on its own. So it's going to be a very interesting bit to look at, because this thing is going to be massive. And would you look at that? This part is done. You can now hold it out like this. My hands and my arms aren't long enough to kind of express how big this is, because I'm holding my phone, like, up here, it's kind of hard. But, very, very large, and now I'm going to have the connecting piece that goes from here out over to the slide, which is going to be wherever that is right here. This extra pipe should be good. Pieces are cut, so now I'll do another YouTube transition. I mean, seriously, look at this. This is it compared to my regular trombone. The thing is so overly large. I cannot even believe that I was able to construct this thing. I pretty much constructed it in a day. The bell took longer than all of this combined. Literally, this entire thing down here, pipes and all, these things, these all the way down right up to here, I did it today. That I worked on for the entire week, but I didn't have as much time. Well, I'll play you a little piece. I'll play the classic song that I always do, which is Megalovania. You all know I tend to play that a lot. So I'll do that right now for you. See, it plays. It's just it's not really the best instrument, but I mean, what do you want from me? I put pipe, steel sheet, wood, and glue together to create a monstrosity that's 8 feet tall, okay? I couldn't be happier. Do you see this? This thing goes up to like the ceiling almost. And I know. I bet you're probably thinking, wow, you're terrible at trombone. No, listen, I've been playing the trombone, for several years now, since 7th grade. I'm not in 7th grade right now, my friends. Listen, it wasn't even that. It's just the fact that the trombone's built in such a way that it does that. That's just how plastic reacts and everything to sound. It's not really the best. It's funny. It's hilarious because I can still play things on it. I just have to put more effort into it to get the sound out of the bell. But here's what it sounds like without a trombone that is made of plastic. But the good thing is I wasn't exactly going for good sound, I was looking for functionality, and this thing does technically function. It barely works, just barely. It's just on the verge of not even being an instrument at all. But it does make a noise, so, I mean, to be fair, if you have a mouthpiece and you have a horn at the end of it, and then if you blow air into it and it makes a noise, I mean, it's an instrument, right? You could go up to a band teacher and just go, and then they tell you that's an instrument, because, well, to be fair, it is. The kazoo is technically an instrument. Not really one that's performed in concerts, but it's still an instrument. Though anyway, that concludes it for the little trombone saga. I actually thought that this would be a much longer, like, little thing. I thought it'd be like 3 videos or something. I actually don't know how the editing's gonna go with this. For all I know, the video could be 20 minutes long. I have no clue. That'll be fun to upload through YouTube, though. But regardless, I hope that that was an intriguing experience to see, because this thing is abominable, but I love it so much. It's amazing. I've very much had a good time building it. And aside from that, have a good rest of your day.